Rise to the occasion.
Of course, my old heads were doing it, Teddy, Jontel, all of them. And then my friends, all are doing it. We've been playing Aberdeen since we were like 6.
Probably earlier than that too.
Like Bob said, it's the community and environment. Like as a young black boy, like in Hampton, you probably want to play sports. And whatever neighborhood that you live near, whatever you live in. So I think it was a combination of those things that got me started.
Okay, what you can?
These guys, I mean, just being at their practices and all that all the time, so just being around it, that's what made me fall in love with it.
So everybody right here, y'all were at a high level. Y'all played high level young, and you starting off. Did y'all feel any pressure? Because I know y'all, all three of y'all come from a background of high level hoops. So did y'all feel any pressure early? Start with you, Jontel.
Nah, I didn't start feeling the pressure until I was about 13 when I started playing with Peninsula. That's when the game of basketball started to become a business. Because it's like, all right, we just ain't playing for fun now. We're trying to get ranked. We're trying to get scholarships. It's a million people out here playing the same sport. It's just a selective few spots that are given to those who make it to that level. So I would say around like 13 is when I started feeling the pressure of like, damn, bro, like I really got to take this serious. You know what I'm saying? It's a million people out here playing the same sport, not just in this country alone, but there's other countries out there where it's like, damn, it's a million more people, probably a billion. That's just like, damn, they on the same wave I'm on. So it's like, it started becoming a business. That's when I started feeling the pressure.
Before I asked you, I was in the trenches with you. I was in the trenches, so I know you felt some pressure early.
Yeah.
When did you start feeling it?
On a serious note, I started feeling like probably like 16 and under. I think Josh probably can attest when we played all Ohio. They got it. They got it. I tell them.
Who's on that squad?
They had
Aaron Craig?
Nah. They had like maybe like Terry Rozier, like some of them guys, and they bust us. Like I think we have always been competitive. I think that's just the nature of where we come from. The coaches pushing us, and guys in different areas. Just kind of just want to win. Had a little bragging rights on. We all get together. We can talk a little crap. But I remember that game vividly with Lou Williams when we played all Ohio. To me, looking back on it, I think we kind of got pumped. Like they were bigger, stronger, like beat us in all aspects. And that's when I kind of was like, okay, I need to start working out. Dudes around the country not playing. So I would say that game specifically around like 15, 16.
Question again.
Probably like 15, because that's when I went to go play for Team Loaded. And that's when I think like it was like probably one of the best teams in the country for real. So it was just like they were always talking about the standard. And that's when I'm like, oh, all right, this is serious. Like I'm seeing dudes who I'm playing against, like they trying to really go make money with this. And I'm like, all right, now it's like it's serious.
I got you. So entering Bethel High School with the AI, talking to town, people from out of town, whenever they hear Bethel, they think Alumni, so they're expecting big things from players from Bethel. So your early days at Bethel High School, Jontel. What was that like for you? Was you doing the fire? Like, what was it like for you? What was the environment like?
It was crazy. It was definitely big shoes to fill, not just with AI, but like people before him, Jimmy Williams, Avon Barton, Josh Payne, you know, all those type of guys. Like, it was big shoes. Like, it was the standard. Like Cam said, it was the standard at Bethel that we had to meet, and it was tough at first. But as you get acclimated to the system and to the environment at Bethel, it was just like, all right, it was not a smooth transition, a bumpy transition, but once you got through that the bumpiness, it was good.
Thanks. Shady, what about you? Okay,
I mean,
for a year.
well, you know, we played Future League, which kind of gave us a little insight to how varsity did things and competitiveness. But I think we was super competitive just growing up. You know, Coach Daniels instilled that, and he was a coach at Bethel at the time. Coach Daniels instilled that in us growing up. So I kind of had a sense of what to look forward to. But then, like, my ninth grade year, we were really good. Like, I think we were top 25 in the country. Like, that was loving them senior year. We had players, and those practices were rough. Like, they were physical. That was like, what, 2009? So that was back when basketball was still kind of like, I get two bigs. Like, it was rough.
And the district was real.
Yeah, the Peninsula District was tough. We had a tough coach. We had older guys that, you know, they had a standard that they had seen from guys before them that Jontel had mentioned. So as a 14-year-old, like, it was tough. It was difficult.
Yo, I'll never forget. I played at Hampton my ninth grade year, and y'all blew us out at Hampton. I think it was the first or second game. When the coach he put all the freshmen in. Jontel, you was still in. I remember setting a pick. I'm 14. I ain't showing off yet. Jontel ran straight through my chest, yo. I felt that. So this was crazy.
Welcome to the PG.
Yeah, that was a welcome to the PG. I knew I had to get in the weight room. I'm like, yo, we gotta get bigger.
I was getting that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, my older brother, you know, rough on defense, Trey Lee, OV, Macho, all of them. So it was tough, but I think it prepared us. Like, it prepared us. It showed us that in practice, you know, sometimes, you know, we would be competitive. And it would, you know, it got us ready. Like, they bullied us and were physical. But it prepared us and gave us some confidence moving forward, to be honest.
I got you. Cam, what was your ninth grade like?
The ninth grade was cool. You know, I was coming from Peninsula Catholic, so it was a little bit different. I didn't know what to expect really, but I kind of did because I was watching them a little bit. But I mean, going into practice and all that, it was cool. I mean, I was one of the best players on the team probably, so Coach Breon had big expectations for me since the ninth grade, so I wasn't really, like you said, I was thrown into the fire in a sense. So, I mean, it was cool though. Like Aaron said, the practices were tough, but he was hard on me. And like I said, coming from Peninsula Catholic, it was a whole different way when I got to play.
So, okay, I want to go back to you. Let's talk about the level of play in the Peninsula District, going from playing Hampton on the Tuesday, Peoples on the Friday. Following Tuesday, you got a tough midfield team or whoever it is. What was the trenches like for you?
Well, you know, early on, it was kind of rough. I started that season out pretty well, and then, like, just...
Right now, I'm talking the whole, like your whole from 9 through 12.
Oh, from 9 through 12?
Yeah, just the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it wasn't as competitive as it was at one point. I know a lot of people say, like, our era was probably a little softer, but I think, I mean, it was some skilled guys still and all that, and I mean, as I adapted and adjusted, it was cool. I mean, it didn't matter who you played, you knew they were going to bring their best game that night. So, I mean, that was what I always look forward to, competitiveness.
After that, 2009, 2012, that was a jump.
Yeah, like it was probably 40 Division I basketball players, like, at least through them times, like, and I think the older that I got, the more, the heavier the load, you know, that I probably had to carry. I think my senior year was probably the heaviest load. We weren't as talented, but we still had good players. But I think the PD was loaded with y'all, Josh and Roger, Hampton was, you know, they eventually ended up winning the state, so that speaks for itself. Phoebus was always tough, Coach Dales and Jay Bird and all of them pressing all game. You know, the Newport News teams were gonna, you know, they're gonna bring it. It was tough. I think think, like I said, from 9th grade to 12th grade, I had to shoulder a bigger load, but overall it was fun. It was competitive, it was fun.
I do want to ask you about this one game. You showed up the feet, Breon Williams. You dropped 30.
But I mean, I think that was just like kind of like the swagger that I had.
Shout out to Breon Williams for not recruiting.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, did you feel like he should at least call you or something? Because he had a recruiting there, you kind of, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good game. But I mean, we all know who he was there for. And
for the wrong person.
I mean, and I told him that, but I mean, looking back on it, man, it was just all in competitive spirit. You know, he did interclass stuff, like I ended up, you know, right where I belong. You know, I had a good career at ODU. I mean, it would have been fun, you know, to just have that. I actually had met him though at 16 Speech Jam before our first game. Like, I was in the bathroom and he had a crazy ring on, and we was talking. He probably doesn't remember that, but yeah, I had talked to him before. But just so happened that, you know, he was there that night. And I had a pretty good game. It was fun. That was one of the funnest games I've probably been a part of.
Exactly. Absolutely. 2005, 2009, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the trenches like on the night?
It was crazy, man. I was thrown into the fire. I had a lot of expectations that I had to meet due to the fact that I performed at a high level before reaching varsity. But what I'm gonna say is, when I was younger, it was tough, and when I was older, it was even tougher because it was guys like you, AB, Josh, like all you young guys that was hungry. Like, you made it tougher for me when I was older. So it was tough throughout my whole career. When I was starting off as a freshman, I had guys like Gio, like lockdown defender, great point guard who lead the team. I had guys like AJ that played for Phoebus that, you know, short, stocky, gonna get into you, gonna lead the team. Like, I played against so many great players in the Peninsula District. It was just like, I had to always step my game up. I always had to prepare and be better than what people expected, because it was people coming at me, older or younger. So when I was younger, it was the older guys, and when I was older, it was the younger guys. Like you said, like, I ran through you, like, damn, I gotta step my game up, but like a hungry young boy, like, that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my whole career was tough. Like, I just felt like I was walking on eggshells because I had to be my best, because people were coming at me day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? Because around this area, word travels fast. So it's like, yo, they got Jontel, whatever y'all want to call me. Like, he this, he that. But then you got a young boy, like, nah, I want to be that. So I'm coming at him. So I had to be that much better, and I had to prepare that much better than anybody else in the district, because I had a name that I had to uphold. You know what I'm saying? So it was tough, man. My whole career was tough, battling through the old guys and the young guys, man. And I definitely appreciate both. The older guys for pushing me and the younger guys for pushing me, because y'all made me who I am today, or who I was.
I feel that. What year did you get on varsity?
9th grade.
9th grade?
Yep.
Yep. So let's speak to the influence of Coach Breon, man. We know Coach Breon's a real tough nose.
We'll be here forever.
Let's keep it real brief. I'll start with you, AB. What was Coach Breon's influence on you?
Tough, like, and you know, all the stories are real. Like, if you from around here, you definitely know. Like, he is rough. He gonna push you, you know. But one thing that he instilled in me that I still to this day can thank him for is his competitiveness. Like, we were competitive early from Coach Daniels and stuff at AAU. But he just instilled like this I'm trying to win everything. Like, every little thing. And he just if you weren't, you know, if you weren't strong enough, he was gonna break you. If you weren't what he would consider tough enough, like it would hurt. And it hurt sometimes, like, you know, physically, mentally, like it was a lot as a kid, but you know, I thank him for, you know, instilling that competitiveness, instilling that kind of fiery spirit. So that's definitely what he brought to the table for the Bethel program.
Gotcha. Cam, what about you?
You know, when I played for Coach Breon, like, he was starting to get a little older,
I
so
was getting ready to say that. I heard, as time went on, he got a little lighter on him.
so he was light, but we definitely had a lot of tough conversations. I think that's a coach that, I mean, we just connected from day one. So, I mean, he was talking more life stuff with me than basketball, and that's what I appreciate him for. Like, and that's a dude I can call or text today, and I know he's gonna return my call, return my text. It's always bigger than basketball with him. So that was the biggest thing with me. It was just having that coach-player connection and really like the second father figure in my life. So it was cool.
I think I do want to point out. I think by the time Coach Breon toned it down when Cameron and them were coming through, I think it showed like when the court Cameron and them went to the state championship, and I think that was a perfect fit. You know, because Breon was still tough on them, but he had toned it down. The game was changing. It was more like a player's game, and it was perfect. And I think that was shown on the court when they got to the state championship. So that's real.
Jontel, you got the beginning of Breon.
Yeah.
It's talk to me.
It's like Coach Breon is a coach where he's aggressive, in your face, but it's a method to his madness. Like, he's the type of coach that's going to break you down to build you up. And I think he set all of his players up for life as we went through that program, because as you guys know, like, life sometimes beats you down, but that doesn't mean you got to stay there. You can build back up from it. So like Coach Breon, it was bigger than basketball. As I continue to get older, I start to realize that more and more. But with him, man, he was cutthroat. He gonna tell you what it is. Like, he gonna come at your neck. If you don't like it, transfer. And me and him done had many battles, but it's always been a level of respect and love for him, because I realized the big picture. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Coach Breon. Like, he's a basketball coach, but the way he coaches is bigger than basketball. He's coaching us for life. And a lot of people get that misconstrued with all the stories, but you have to really be there to understand him and his philosophy of who he is and what he's trying to portray. So I owe him a lot. But to answer your question, it was tough, man. It was times where, you know, Adrian Webb was the starting point guard when I was a freshman. 1 week into practice, he like, Jontel, you started. I'm like, bro, what you mean I'm started? Like, I'm confused, and it's like, it's pissing Adrian off. But at the same time, it was making Adrian better. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, bro, it's a method to your madness. Like, I get it. Like, you're using me to big him up, and you're setting me up for the same position where he's at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get it.
When did you notice that he was trying to set y'all
My
up?
freshman year.
Oh, you noticed it then?
Yeah, because, you know, I played with Coach Shanley and my father for Poise, and they were pretty much the same, but it was a different extreme when I got to Bethel with Breon. Like, he really played mind games, and if you're not mentally strong, I don't care if you're an athlete or you just got a 9 to 5, like life period. If you don't have a strong mind, you're not going to make it regardless. And I think with him, it's, like I said, it's bigger than basketball, man. It's bigger than winning games and scoring points and stopping people on the defensive end. Like, it's just life period. And a lot of people get that misconstrued. Like I said, Coach Breon get a bad rep. I mean, he got some choice of words that he likes to use, but I mean, that's who he is. And at the end of the day, if I had a son, my son would play for him. And it wouldn't be no problems. It's either you're gonna get down or you're gonna lay down. And that's how I feel about Coach Breon. Like, he put us through hell, but we came out of it on top of it. You know what I'm saying? As men, not even basketball players, as men. And like I said, he don't get his credit for that. And I know Cam and AB and Teddy and Trey Lee, they can all attest to that. Like, nah, bro, it's bigger than basketball. He made us into men.
And I think he does a pretty good job, you know, basketball wise too. Like, put a lot of kids in the school. Like, put a lot of kids in the school. You know what I mean? I remember back coming up, like, a lot of people would criticize the fact that, you know, might lose some games or something he putting kids in school, like he giving kids the opportunity to play at the next level, man. He just like Bubba said, man, I owe him a lot.
Facts. It was one time, bro. I think I was like, they were like 11 or 12. They in a Peninsula District tournament at Heritage, playing against Heritage, where they had goddamn Lou, KE, all those guys. And he sits Jimmy Williams, the best player in the state. Jimmy like, you holding me back. Coach Breon, the type of coach. I know you heard the expression like, my bite is bigger than my bark. His bite and his bark is both major with him. And he just like, no, bro, like, I don't care how good you are, you're not above my team, you're not above my program. This is me. And like, to see that at a young age is like, he already had my respect. And I was sparing him, and I didn't even play for him yet. My dad was in the stands like, you ain't never played for him the whole time I played for him. You know what I'm saying? All 4 years, man. So it's just like, his philosophy, like a lot of people, they get it, like I said, misconstrued, like they don't understand the method to his madness, but it's deeper than basketball, man. He teaches us how to be great players and be great men in this world. So.
And I feel like both of y'all coached with him for a little bit too,
Yeah.
right? I feel like that, what y'all are saying is true because y'all went back and showed love. So that's real.
And he looking for somebody to take his throne. It might be one of us in this room. We gonna see. But yeah, man, he definitely deserves his flowers. I know he get a bad rep because he hasn't won a championship and he sat great players like Jimmy Williams. But at the end of the day, bro, nobody's above his team. Nobody's above him. And that's what we love about him. That's why we love to play for him.
That's real. And for real, this is all bigger than basketball. Because even if you go pro, you still got to do something after that, dog. And, you know.
It was one time, my freshman year, he called a play. It's 4 games. It's 4 people in the corners. The big man at the free throw line set the pick. I called the play. I get trapped. I turn the ball over. He like, hey, yelling at me. I'm like, bro, it's 4 games. Like, I'm talking back. Bro, sitting on the bench. Halftime, he like, you suspended for next game. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm getting in trouble because I ran the play that you called. But the thing was, respecting authority. Back then I didn't know it, but as I got older, I'm like, I understand where he was coming from, bro. It's his team, his authority. I gotta respect it. I don't need to talk about it. So it's like, damn, bro. Like, end up apologizing to him, and we were about to play the game. And before every game, we used to go to the closet and get our bag with our jerseys. He was like, Jontel, here, do it to me. I'm like, I'm playing. This motherfucker talking about, you apologize, didn't you? I said, that's my coach. That right there. Yep, that's my coach.
Cam, so we're gonna talk college now. You come from, you're the baby in the group, right? So go ahead and into college, you played at Maryland Eastern Shore first, and then you were just at Indiana State. First off, talk about the expectations that were set for you at being the last out of home.
Well, I mean, really, the expectations, I think I put them on myself kind of like I think I heard Aaron say this one day. He was talking about like, since I seen both of my brothers go to college and cousins go to college, it was never really a question of like in my mind of was I going to go or anything. So it was just like when I get there, what am I going to do? And that's really what I was worried about. So I mean, I don't think my parents they never said, yo, you want to go to school like and all that. So I wasn't really worried about too much of that. But just when I got there, that's when I was like, all right, now I want to make my own money. I mean, you know, I was always Aaron's little brother, Teddy's little brother. So it was time to make my own money and be my own man at that time. So.
Do you ever feel overshadowed or anything by your brother Teddy?
Nah, not for real, no. Just because, I mean, talking to them all the time, like, I know it's all love.
I know the boys pushing you anyway. They probably want you to be better than them. So.
Definitely. So it never felt that way. I mean, somebody might look at it and think it was like that, but nah, it never felt that way.
That's what's up. How you feeling going into Western Carolina? What's the vibes like?
I'm feeling good. You know, I'm working out with him on the court a lot. Working out with him, strength and conditioning. So I feel like I'm as confident as I've ever been before. I feel like my game is at another level. So it's kind of similar to the confidence I had my senior year of high school. Like when I stepped on the court, I felt like I was the best player. So like now, anytime if I go play at Bethel, if I go play in an open gym over at ODU, if I go play anywhere right now, I'm like, I'm the best one on the court. That's my mindset right now. And I think that's a testament to them because they're instilling that confidence in me. I see them putting the work with me, so it's only right for you to pay it back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of working out, Just Elevate Fitness in the building. Just Elevate do everything known to man as far as workouts, but we'll get that to a little later. I just had to shout that out first. AB, ODU. The man up there for a little bit. But I want to know, like, what was that expectation like from your coach in the program once you got there?
So I was coming in. ODU had they had won the CAA, like, which was a really good mid-major conference. Like 2 out of the past 3 years before I got there. I think they had went back to back with like Ben Finney and Kent and Frank and all of them. So the expectation was to win, but that was similar to Bethel. That was one of the reasons why I liked ODU. So going there, my first year we had Coach Taylor, but the leadership on the court was kind of shaky. Coach Taylor was going through some things off the court that eventually, got him released like in the middle of the season. So my freshman year was kind of just all over the place. But the good thing about it was I got a lot of experience, like in-game experience, against a lot of good players. Isaiah Cannon, Damian Reese, who plays for the Warriors, like really good players. So then going into my sophomore year, we had a new coach. We didn't have a lot of older guys. It was like me, kind of the guys that I came in with, Tree, that played in Heritage. We kind of just played, like Coach kind of just gave us the free reins. Like it was his first year, he got in kind of late. It was like August when he got hired, something like that. And I mean, I think the expectations that I had for myself were high because I was putting in the work. I knew kind of where I could see myself in the future. I definitely knew I wanted to play pro, and I knew I had to get my game right. So the expectations I put on myself were extremely high, and I think just the expectations of being at home at ODU, having a coach that had won. I think Coach Jones said he was super successful at UVA, was successful at American. I think all of that combined, the expectations were high. So I mean that was kind of my mindset those 4 years.
And you was a 1,000-point scorer. You was all CAA too.
Well, I mean, we transitioned to like Conference USA. I think my sophomore year, which was super tough conference. I think my sophomore, junior, and senior year, whoever got the bid for Conference USA won the game in the tournament. Like, I think UAB beat Iowa State, Middle Tennessee. My last year, we lost them by 2 in the championship. The conference tournament. They beat Michigan State. Conference USA was no slouch. Conference USA was definitely no slouch. I mean, I ended with like 1,600 points, 1,700 points, something like that.
You say that like that's like...
No, because Cameron and his friends, like, I rarely talk about myself. So when I do it, I feel kind of awkward. Like, Cameron laughs about that.
It's documented.
Yeah.
It's documented.
But the expectations were high. Like the expectations I put on myself, I wanted to have game and I wanted to be able to say that I was nice. So yeah, the expectations were high.
And you feel like you met your expectations?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I met my expectations. I could have done some things differently, but hindsight is always 20/20.
Absolutely.
I'm satisfied with my career for sure.
I like that. Jontel, man.
He had it rough.
Let's talk about
UVA, then you went to UVA. What was the year you entered UVA?
shit.
That was
2009.
2010. Tell yo, I've been watching some games.
Let's talk
and
about
I know you done played against the best point guards in the world.
You got questions?
You
got questions I got to answer.
Talk to me about that. Once you hit the summer workouts, your first time on campus working out with the team. I want you to be completely honest.
Alright, so when I first got up there, I was still riding the wave of like the hometown hero. Like my name gonna carry me to where I want to be. I got up to UVA, it's nothing like that. I got into the workouts, we ran open gym. I'm talking about 3 trips up and down, and I'm tired. Same as Levinsky, my best backcourt mate of all time, other than Macho. busting my ass in practice. I'm like, bro, if the bruhs back home see what's happening in this shit right here, they gonna disown me. But it was just like, he was a veteran player. He knew the system. He knew how to play college basketball. And I'm just like, bro, he beat me like to the spot. Like, I'm trying to hit him with the AI. He beat me to the spot. He already know. I'm getting to the lane, blocking my shot. He's coming off screens. I'm getting hit by the pick. He knocking down threes in my face. And just backpedaling like, yeah, bro, I do this. Yeah, welcome. But that right there was my baptism. And I needed that. It was very, very humbling. And I say that with all honesty because I went up there thinking I was a man because of what I did in high school. What you do in high school don't mean shit when you get to the collegiate level. So it was just like, it was a different stage and I had to perform. So as I continued to, you know, hit the weight room hard, hit the workouts hard, pay attention to detail to how the collegiate game is played, listen to my coaches, finding my spots, I started evolving as a player. And then it started becoming hard for Sandy to go against me. So it was just like, it was great competition. But to answer your question, when I first got there, he was busting my head. It was crazy, man. But, you know, just playing in the ACC, it was tough.
I mean, because these are all the teams we was watching as young.
Yeah, exactly. And we just had a conversation yesterday about all the great teams back when I was a young boy. So, you know, going to the ACC, one of the fastest players, craftiest players I ever played against to this day, is Smith. He's still in the NBA. We were in film, and Coach McKay, head coach at Liberty right now, he said, this guy gets down the court in 3 seconds. We all in the film like, man, whatever, bro. Like, Bud way faster than him. He said, watch this. It was 1 minute and 5 seconds. He said, he paused it, 1 minute and 5. He said, watch this. He got from one end to from the other end to the other end in 1 minute to 3 seconds shake up. In like 4 dribbles, so. One of the fastest, craftiest players that I played against.
He's about your height, right?
Or he probably like 6 feet, probably like your height. 6 feet, 6'1". Just crafty, like coming off the ball screens, hezzy, quick step. You think he gonna flow it, he lobbing it up to his big man. You know what I'm saying? Or he's stepping back, flowing. Like, he just had it all, and they threw me into the fire. Like, I was playing behind Calvin Baker, 7'5", 7'11". And I'm telling them, I'm like, dang, bro, like they lit, like Calvin busting my ass in practice, but you get into the game and it's like, it's Smith, like, man, bro, I'm really busted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was different, man. It was different. And Cam always asked me stories about the ACC, and I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, like, they were really like that. Like, it was a baptism, but I needed that. It was very humbling because it's like, I can come back to my hometown and I can tell a young boy that has the same aspirations as me, and I'm telling them, like, no, bro, you need to work harder. Facts. You need to work harder. There's people out here doing the same thing you do. You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, the transition from high school to the ACC, it was very tough. I played against a lot of great players.
Name those players.
Say less. Nolan Smith, he hit me with a quick 8-piece in like a minute. Ish Smith, Gravis Vasquez, Malcolm Delaney probably was the hardest player I ever had to guard because he was so good at coming off screens, drawing fouls. He could take off the dribble. Reggie Jackson, that plays for the Clippers. He was great. Isaiah Thomas from UW, 5'0", tough as nails.
Man, you hit against him, that's tough.
He can shoot, he can defend, and he like, I'm in your face, bro. I'm from the West Coast. Like, he just was like that. I played against a lot of great players, but the ACC was stacked. Like, there was a kid from Miami, Shane Larkin, played against him quick. I thought I was fast. Bro was fast. He's fast. Like, I kept up with him, but bro was fast. He's like that type of player that can get to the lane, create his own shot. Who else I played against in the ACC? Kendall Marshall, Kendall Marshall was probably the smartest point guard I ever played against. And I teamed up with him when we were 17. The best point guard ever from a a standpoint of just knowing the game and knowing his teammates, knowing where they like the ball. Who else? Who else is in the conference? You name it, I played with them.
Clemson, they had
Elon Shumpert, freshman year, just athletic, like take you off the dribble, shooting the three, going down the lane, dunking it. Who else, bro? NC State, bro. NC State had a lot of players that were great. Bro.
It's just showing y'all youngins out there that Division I, that high level Division I.
It's tough.
It ain't no game, though.
A lot of people like, I'm going D1. No, you ain't. I can look at you and tell you not going D1. I can hear the tone of your voice and tell you don't got the work ethic to be Division I. And I just feel I'm so grateful to be able to have that opportunity that I had to come back and bring it back to my hometown and let people know, not to put you down, but to tell you like, bro, you need to work a little harder. You need to work a little harder because there's guys out there that are hungry. For example, Malcolm Brogdon, Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. Got drafted in the second round. His senior year, he was Defensive ACC Player of the Year and ACC Player of the Year. And went second round. A lot of people don't know. His sophomore year, he had a foot injury. This guy was on the, I don't even know what they call it, the scooter, wheeling himself around the gym. Wherever the ball stopped at, wheel himself, one leg, pick it up, shoot for hours before he was able to put his other foot down. A lot of people don't know that. I've witnessed it. I've seen him after practice. He putting up shots, boom, boom, boom. Free throws at the gun, boom. With his leg in a scooter, wheeling around, bro. I knew he was a pro his freshman year. We had 4-man groups. He was in my group. I said, all right, bro, like, you young boy, you freshman, like, I'm an old head. Boy beat me 4-0. I said, nah, I gotta bring it to you, bro. Because you like that. You ain't no young boy, like, you really like that. That's when I knew he was a pro. I played against so many pros, like, I know, even though I didn't make it to the NBA, I still played for money overseas. I know what it takes. I've seen what it takes to make it to that level. And the cats around here, they don't got it. They don't got it yet. They don't got the work ethic.
So the question is, what do we do, like as a community, to get that level of basketball back?
So it's like,
where it should be.
first of all, you gotta be honest. A lot of people, a lot of coaches around here, they like to kiss ass, like, I don't want him to leave. Nah, bro, if you leave, you leave. It is what it is. Because at the college level, they like, you think you what? You doing what? You did what in high school? Bro, we'll recruit over you. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter at all. So what we need to do as community, first of all, be honest. Second of all, get back, like share our experiences to the youth so they know what it takes. Because I just feel like this area, it's like, we got so much talent, but like mentally they not there. They think they there already. They think they in the NBA. You're not there, bro. It's a million people that play this game, and it's 60 picks in the NBA draft. You better off hitting a lottery. And half those picks are from overseas. So we're looking at 15 to 20 picks from this country. Let's talk about it. But they don't know that. They like, I'm going to the league. Justice League? I'm going to the draft. Draft the bid? What are you talking about? Like, I've been around. I played with the Rookie of the Year. I played with the three-point champion. You know what I'm saying? I played with one of the best players to ever come out of UVA, Mike Scott. I've seen the work that these guys put in. Like, I played against pros. I played against Bradley Beal. I played against Kenny Boynton. I played against, who else I played against? Trey Bird. Top 10 pick, bro. Austin Rivers. I played against these guys. I know what NBA talent is because I've been around it. Even though I didn't make it, I know what it is. And I just feel like to answer your question, as a community, to make this, to big our area up, we gotta be honest, we gotta share our experiences, and we gotta let them know, like, well, you gotta keep working, because it's not easy. Y'all think it's easy, but it's not easy. It's not, for sure.
for real. Maybe what you think. What could we do as a community to, you know, take this basketball, get it to at least close to where it was at?
I mean, I think we just like kind of piggyback on what Jontel said. Just continue to pour into the youth. I think there are definitely some guys that have had great experiences that are, you know, pouring into the youth, becoming trainers and coaches. I know Stefan Welsh at Westside, he does a great job getting in the gym with the guys. I've been in the gym with them a few times. I think we need to, you know, take some ownership, and like our era definitely needs to take some ownership and you know, kind of being those big brother figures, going back to our high schools and talking, going back and showing up to the high school practices and then getting on the court with them, especially if you still play. You know, and kind of that each one teach one type attitude. I know we're probably going to talk about it, but I had moved up to the DC area, and what they do with the game, like a lot of the older guys come in, they play open gym all together, and I've seen like some of those guys like training the youth like on their like off time, like they're really pouring into the youth, and I think that era, like our era, needs to. I think we're doing a decent job of it. We just need to continue to do it and continue to grow. Some people have to get in positions of like leadership, whether it's like rest in peace Butch, but like somebody like a Butch Harper, who's gonna take
somebody else for the kids.
Yeah,
for the kids.
Who's gonna take that sense of community and pour into the youth from like a sports aspect. I mean, like I said, I think it's both. I think the kids need to, you know, work and have a dream, have a vision, but I think our era definitely needs to be pouring to you.
Before you go on, like I would never downplay a kid's dream. I'm the type of person that's seen what it takes to get there because I've had teammates and I've played against players that are where people want to be. I'm not gonna shit on your dream. Let's just work a little bit harder. Like if you really want to be an NBA player, put in the work to be an NBA player. It's not going out to bowling parties, hanging out with these shorties. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dedicating your time to the gym. And it's just like at a young age you need that work ethic. So you won't be shocked when you get to the collegiate level, if you get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different world. So I would never shun nobody's dream, but I'm the type of person, like, now that I'm back home, all right, let's work a little harder.
Really?
Let's work a little harder. Like, and if you ask any of the youngest out there, if you're watching this, if you got any questions, y'all can hit me up, come by. I got all the answers for you. Whatever you need to know, I got answers for you. But I just feel like this area is just like, people are so stuck on, like the players, they so, I'm D1. Nah, they ain't rocking with me, I ain't rocking with them. Their attitude is messed up. And it's just like, nah, bro, like, your work ethic is messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think your name itself gonna get you there and keep you there. Nah, learn from me. I thought my name was gonna, you know, get me to where I wanted to be at UVA. Nah, I got baptized. People were busting my ass in practice. I had to learn, I had to be humble. I wish I would have worked a little bit harder before I went to UVA. So it's like, now that I'm back home, these aspiring athletes that want to make it to the next level and go beyond that to get paid for their talent, let's put in the work there. Put in the work. Let's lock in. That's real.
Do you feel like you met your expectation in college?
I definitely did.
You got a ring, right?
Nah, I wish I did. They won it after I left, after I graduated, which was, they should have gave me one, but but nah, man, like I set the bar on the foundation. I was one of the first building blocks to where UVA is now. And a lot of people know me they know me as Bub from Bethel. So when they see me Bub at UVA, they're like, that's a different player. Yeah, because people are better than me. You also have a role when you get to the college level. My role was to run a team and put people in the best positions to be successful. I can't argue with that. They want Bub to score 20 points. I don't need to do that. I have Joe Harris. I have Mike Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have guys like that. I have Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench, getting buckets. I don't need to. When I score, that's a plus. I'm running this team. I'm in charge. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people back home shun me for that, but they don't really understand that when you get to that level, it's different.
And some people don't understand basketball because when you see
That too. It be
like,
people that are cut from JV telling me you should have done this. I'm like, man, shut up, bro.
Facts.
Shut up. Like I hear you, but
that's real. Cam, I know you're still playing and you're probably you have a different perspective, but as far as looking at the youth around here, how do you feel about us giving back? What do you think we can do to make it better? Basketball, sports in general.
I think definitely what Buzz said, piggybacking on him, just sharing those experiences. That means the world to these kids. Like because I'm still playing. I'm going back to Bethel. I'm playing against those dudes, helping train some kids and all that. Like when I'm not working out, and like just hearing it from somebody is helping them see it before they can even see it. So like a kid told me he wanted to go play college. Like so he's asking me what little things I need to do. What can I do off the court to help me? Things like that. So it's like. When I'm telling my experiences and I'm seeing like their eyes light up and say, oh, now I know what it takes. Because a lot of these dudes don't have the luxury that I had. Like I had 2 older brothers. I had an older cousin who was pouring into me and all that stuff. And I mean, a lot of kids around here, they don't have that. So it means the world when Jontel Evans tells them, hey, I did this or that. And when Aaron is saying, I did this and I did that. And this is what it takes. So I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, just telling them your experiences, because I mean, like I said, that's helping them see it before they can even see it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So now let's talk life. Let's talk our careers now. Maybe you up there in the DC area. Yeah. Tell us what you do.
So I do finance and contract work for the Department of State. So basically, I work for the federal government. Well, it's kind of hard to get into it. It's like acquisitions. For the Department of State. So the Department of State, their goal is like diplomacy, like talking things through with other countries and like any type of like task and any type of strategy that they have to have like stuff surrounding it. So if we need to reach out to like a company or compete like a contract, then I would like take care of all of that stuff and make sure like the budget and stuff is straight. So basically, I just help people like finance contracts for the government.
Got you. Jontel, anything beyond just Elevate or?
Before just Elevate, I was teaching. I was a B teacher and assistant basketball coach in Charlottesville.
The middle school, right?
Middle school, Alumni. And I was a B teacher at Charlottesville Day School for like the last 5 years. Then I came back home, now just personal training, just trying to get back to my community. Slowly, diving into different aspects of training. Like I got Cam, he's like my first athlete. I'm really excited about his growth, probably more excited than him.
You got to see some weight on my boy.
And working out with AB is my client as well. Just, personal training.
Before we dive in, we're going to dive in that last. I want you to tell us all about that. I want you to tell me first, give me an experience from basketball that you use in your career.
I think it's like little stuff that we don't even think about that. I think people that didn't play sports kind of struggle with being on time, like working in groups, like communication to try to accomplish a task or accomplish a goal. Things that we're just used to, just playing basketball with our teammates and with our friends, that we can just apply to not only my job, but that's really any job. Like I think all jobs or businesses trying to make money. I'm a finance guy, so my task a lot of my roles is keep costs down, try to bring in as much as possible. I think that's the goal of business in general. And with that being the goal, trying to surround yourself with people that see that as a task and able to communicate. I think those are like transferable skills from sports that I still use today. And I think the job that I have now, the team that I'm on, works extremely well-oiled machine. We have a great leader, which will essentially be a coach or AD at a school, great leader, and she's like hands off. So that's basically like a team, where a lot of players to play, a lot of players to make mistakes. And so I mean, I think sports is the biggest, it's the biggest avenue for life, transitioning into life. I use a lot of things I learned in sports in my job today.
That's real. So that's the thing about leading through sport. Leading through sport is about connecting the dots, like the things that we've learned in basketball, football, whatever, how it transfers. And you do the same thing with life. Anything in life that you go through, you can connect it to something else. And it's all, you got to use your experiences to leverage life into, make it a smooth transaction, you feel me? So, Jontel, give us, out of everything you've done, the PE teaching, just let me finish everything, give us one thing from sports that translates directly to your career that you use.
I think the main thing is, as a point guard, staying poised. Never letting people see you sweat. Being comfortable when you're uncomfortable. What I mean by staying poised is like, if you react too soon, something bad can happen. If you react too soon to basketball, it's a turnover. That's a bad thing. So I have to say, what basketball has taught me to translate into my real life is just staying poised through it all. Even if I don't know anything, you're not gonna know that I don't know it fast. I'm just like, but you ain't gonna never know because I'm gonna be poised about it. And that's one thing that I learned, and that's one thing that Coach Shangley, Coach Breon, Coach Bennett taught me. You're the leader of this team, you gotta stay poised. You gotta protect that basketball. And it translated to real life, the real world. So when people come see me, they ask questions, I don't really have the answers most of the time, but you think I got the answers the way I answer it. So it's like, just staying poised through the whole time, like never letting people see you sweat, and just being comfortable being uncomfortable. And I've grown into that, bro, even with teaching. I'm like, how the hell I'm gonna teach 20 kids that got 20 different personalities? They come into PE after lunch, like, how am I gonna manage this? I'm like, all right, let me put it in the basketball perception. I got the ball in my hand, we need a bucket, and we call it right play. We put people in the right direction. Just leading, being vocal, and that's how it translated into the real world, just staying poised. So basketball has played a major role in my life today. So
sports gives you leverage, man. That's one thing that's great about sports. Like, you can literally, I feel like people that play sports like us compared to people who just went to school and just did school and are adults now, I feel like we're up.
We are.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we're up.
Because it's a lot of pressures that people that don't play sports don't know about. But we know those pressures, and we perform underneath those pressures fast. So it's like when it comes to real world, it's the same thing. Like, all right, I got you.
So you had just said it when Brian asked, "Are y'all nervous?" He was like, "You can play that for the 40,000 before you could."
Exactly. Greensboro Coliseum, 20,000 people. We playing against Duke my sophomore year. John Shire, that's about to be the head coach of Duke. Great team. Right there. That year they won the national championship. 20,000 people, bro. And we're in the game. And I'm playing a freshman, young black boy from Hampton, Virginia, on one of the biggest stages in the country. ACC tournament against one of the best teams ever, best programs ever. And I'm playing. A lot of people can't say that. I beat Coach K. I beat Roy Williams. I beat the Michigans. I beat the TCUs. I beat all those teams. Young black boy from Hampton, Virginia, man. That played for Aberdeen, went to Bethel High School. You know what I'm saying? Came up and got a degree from one of the most prestigious schools of all time. Come on, man.
Can't ask for nothing else.
CWI, like, come on.
Cam,
I did that.
fast. What's one thing that basketball has taught you that helps you out with like relationship building? I don't know if you did an intern yet, but something like interning or just just going about life, trying to figure it out with basketball. How did that help?
I definitely think the competitive spirit, and not like just in a aggressive way, but just being competitive and knowing that, like we were talking about the draft, limited number of spots. So when I'm applying for a job later on down the line, I know it's a limited amount of spots. So I'm building these relationships with these people and all that, and trying to put myself in that position. And I just look at it like it's kind of like me playing one-on-one with somebody. I'm trying to beat you, so I'm trying to get this job, and I think that's what is something I can translate in a relationship building when I'm looking to get a job.
I like that. So let's get into Just Elevate Fitness. So I want you to tell. You look at the camera, you tell everything you want to know. Either one. Tell them everything.
Just Elevate, for people that don't know, it's my initials, Jontel Evans, Just Elevate, and it's in the form of an arrow. Because when you pull an arrow back, that's just like life pulling you back. But once you let go of all those troubles, you're going to launch into something better than where you was. So that's where I came up with the idea, the arrow and all that. So Just Elevate, I teach boxing, weightlifting, speed and agility. I do it all, man. Division I athlete that has been through the ringer and just giving back to my community. And Cam is one of my first clients that is going to be the billboard for many other people to try to join. Because, like I said before in this interview, I know what it takes to get to the next level. I know the work ethic. I've been around pros, played with them all my life, and like I said, I'm just giving back to my community, sharing my experiences to this area. So that's me just trying to better this area because we need it. That's right. Because the mindset of, and I'm gonna call them out, the coaches here, the players, it's terrible. They don't know, like, these coaches is kissing ass for a player to stay. Nah, bro, that's your program. If a player's not buying it, let them leave. Now with the players, if you think you bigger than what you are, go outside your state. Play against some other people. You'll see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just want to come back and just instill my experiences to my community and let people know that you can make it, but it's going to be hard work and it ain't going to be easy. So, and I just feel like this is what this area lacks. They lack the sharing of experiences from the people that came before them. And I just want to come back and I want to give it to them.
That's real. Quick. I remember that someone worked out with Shield before you left, bro. You gotta make the best shit of my life. Yeah, I was at like consistently probably 185. I went back to school like 178.
For real?
Yeah, and I was lean. I was back there. You had me back there working.
But that's the thing that I said earlier, though, with the young guys pushing me.
Yeah.
You were young, you were hungry, you had a dream, you had aspirations. I'm this older guy, came before you. I had dreams, aspirations, playing pro. You're pushing me, you're making me better just like I'm making you better. So we need more of that in this area. There's a lot of people here that when they make it, they don't come back. We had 2 number 1 picks. 2 number 1 picks. What we got to show for it? And I'm gonna leave it at that. I mean, shit, they hometown heroes, I get it. But it's so many people, so many talented kids. How are we helping them? 2 number 1 picks in 2 different sports. Let's talk about it. It's a different day.
Now let's talk about this as well. We're getting ready. We about to wrap up soon, but I do want to talk about y'all's overseas experience. Tell us where you played at.
So I was in Yakupils, Latvia, which is like Eastern Europe. It's right next to Lithuania. I think it's between Lithuania and Russia. Probably your first time in a different country, actually living in a different country. So it was rough. But I was helping out Cameron and the Bethel basketball program before I had went. I had my finance degree, so I took a job downtown Norfolk, doing finance with Merrill Lynch. So I was kind of on the fence about going anyway, but I gave it a try. Didn't like it, I'll admit. If the basketball was competitive, I just think the lifestyle wasn't for me. I don't think I was mature enough to really, embrace what it was at the time. But I can say that I went over there and played basketball for money. And I'm satisfied with what I did. College and everything that I had, everything that I did in my career up to that point. So it was cool, an experience nonetheless.
I got you. Jontel, what about you? How was your experience?
Man, first of all, that shit was hard as hell. So coming out of college, I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna play overseas right away. I didn't play overseas until a year later. That's what people don't know. Worked my ass off. He was with me, working with Shields. Finally got an opportunity to go over there. Shit, I get on the plane. 3 hours into the plane ride, I'm like, am I making the right choice? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I'm in a whole nother country. Boom, I landed in, I think, Budapest. These motherfuckers think I'm a terrorist, but I had the long chin hair. I'm like, bro, get me back to the States. Like, they like, yo, we need to check the passport. What you doing here? I'm like, bro, I'm here to play basketball. Shit was just scary. Get past that, finally get to Slovakia where I'm playing. First couple months, well, the first month, a lot of people don't know, I was on a tryout because I haven't played in a year. So it was a tryout, ended up making the team, which I expected. But the first couple of months, it was tough. Didn't speak the language, only American on the team at the time. Just, it was tough. FaceTiming everybody back home, every chance that I got. Staying up till about, 4 or 5 in the morning, knowing I got practice at 9. Yeah. But it's a 6-hour time difference, so everybody up. So I'm trying to speak to everybody. It was tough, but I finally settled in. Part of the contract was I had to learn the language, and to learn the language where I could like order food, call a taxi, blah, small talk. And the fact that I played for one of the best teams in Slovakia was a +2. So, and some of my teammates spoke English, it was broken English, but you know, it was cool. First couple months was rough, but as I adjusted, it became a lot better. And I finally felt like a pro. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm going out to, they don't say the bars over there, they say the discos, which was lit. I'm coming in there, they're like, yo, Jay, that's what they call me over there, Jay, because they couldn't say my first name. Like, Jay, I'm like, yeah, I got money. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a baller, like I'm in the NBA, you know what I'm saying? So it was a cool lifestyle. Made it to the championship, lost in game 7. But halfway through it though, I had a FaceTime call with my mom, and I'm just like, she's like, hey, you look like that. I said, yeah, I think I'm about to hang my sneaks up. And shout out to Robbie Williams, my AU coach, 13 to 15. One of the first things he taught us was, we were in practice one Sunday at Heritage, and we were sitting down. He took the basketball. You know, y'all, everybody that know Rob, y'all. He took the ball. We're all sitting down at the baseline. He threw it. Bouncing, 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 roll, then it stopped. He said, eventually that's going to be your basketball career. That ball is going to stop bouncing. And at 13, we like, hey, shut up, we're gonna play till you can't play no more. But at that moment, when I called my mom, I said, I know exactly what Coach Robbie was talking about. I didn't have the joy. I lost the passion for it. And it was just time to hang it up and do something different. And I told my mom, like, after this year, I'm done. And she's like, for real? I'm like, yeah, like, I'm done. And even though I did 1 year, I still played professionally, played for money. And nobody can take that away from me. Nobody. It was a great experience, and I can share that with the people that have the same aspirations that I once had. And I can guide them and direct them to where they want to be and let them maneuver how they want to with the experiences that I'm sharing with them. So, but to answer your question, it was tough at first, but it ended up being a great experience that nobody can take away from me.
Experience is build character. Experience is build character. Real quick, last question. Give us one quick life lesson that everybody can take away.
One quick life lesson. I would just say stay humble. And I mean, I think that's what 2020 has taught us, like in 2021 now. It can be taken away from anything, like a drop of a dime. So just be thankful and just stay humble and just work. Just a quick life lesson.
I probably have to say it, Nipsey Hussle quote, the game is going to test you. It's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And what's in you, they can never take away from you.
That's where I love that. I think something that comes in, you just say, you see it through.
See it through, my boy.
You did. Where did that come from? Like,
Instagram, you gotta see it through, my boy.
but nah, staying the course, seeing it through, man, you gonna have, you know, times that are gonna test you. We all just trying to figure it out. You know, I think as kids, as you know, as a young adult, knowing that as you get older, you're gonna go through some things, experiences. Life's like the best teacher. I know when we kids, we looking at adults like, when they got it together, like my mom paying for that, you know, the house, the car, you know, stuff like that. Well, I was fortunate enough to, you know, see that, but you know what you have to do to get to that point. So I think just staying the course, seeing it through, man, having that vision of your goals is critical, you know, to get to, you know, to get to the finish line. I think I think the finish line is peace of mind. To be honest,
That's facts. That's a fact.
finish line is definitely peace of mind. Like we've seen money, like we've seen 20,000 in Greensboro Coliseum, like we've seen degrees. Like I think the real wealth now is peace of mind. Man. I think you know you're gonna learn that as life goes on. As an underdog, I'm definitely seeing that. That's real. That's real.
And you speak about everybody's trying to figure it out. You know where we can figure it out? Right here, Me Through Sport. That's a podcast going. I got some real legit, you know, knowledgeable people, legends from the area that are just trying to get that game. And I got a lot more coming, so make sure y'all lock in with us. Lock in with Jontel for your fitness needs. Lock in with AB for your financial needs. And, you know, we're gonna watch Cam on ESPN this coming November. So lock in with us. Y'all wanna leave your Instagram handles or Twitter if y'all wanna be followed. Go ahead and tell the people.
Cameron Bacote on Instagram. I think AB1ODU on Twitter. Just follow.
If you want to, you got whatever you want to.
Just Elevate Fitness, where you can follow my personal joint, Above Evans Fun.
Just Cameron Bacote on both Twitter and Instagram.
You can follow me at @tscotty_. You can follow my life development page @rise to the occasion. I offer all life development content. I'm a career coach for millennials and Generation Z, so we get it in 757.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Appreciate y'all boys, man.
Appreciate you, boy.
Good stuff. That was good.